What is going on, guys and girls? My name is James and welcome back today to Roblox. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back, welcome back. Today, of course, we jump into Bee Swarm Simulator, and today everything has changed. Big changes, big movements, big scenes. I'm going to share that with you guys in this episode, and it's going to be good. So there's a bit of a clue already on the screen, but it's going to be revealed in 3, 2, 1. Claim the hive! What is going on here? What have I done to my hive? Where are all my vector bees? More on that later. Okie dokies. So yeah, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining once again. We're kind of in that weird sort of limbo stage in between Beesmas Part 1 and Part 2, where essentially like all of the main content and all of the quest lines and stuff are pretty much done, aside from a few of the slightly trickier ones, which I'm still working on in the background. So of course, do not forget that this is only Beesmas Part 1, and we are going to be expecting a second update at some point. So if there's anything new to do with that, I will let you guys know, of course, as soon as possible. However, we're still in Beesmas Part 1, and I've been doing stuff. So yeah, if we can try and get 3,000 likes on this episode here today, that would be incredible. Thank you so much for joining me once again, for hanging out. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Should we talk about stuff? I think we should. So, yes, I did a thing. And now I am currently rocking a full blue hive. So here's the thing, like, don't get me wrong, I've said this many times, I've always loved playing as a white hive. And like, I was thinking about this, and even before having like a full white hive, even with just like my regular hive back in the day, with just like one of every bee, just doing like a collection hive, I was still playing in that kind of white style. So I'm talking about gummy mask, I'm talking about dropping the gumdrops, and then a little bit later on we were using, you know, the vector bees and the marks, and we were using all of the kind of white field boosts and stuff to generate our honey. But I've been doing that now for a couple of years, and to be honest with you guys, I was speaking to Elol. So, by the way, like, he actually helped me with this hive build. It was really cool. Jumped into a call with him, and he basically helped me build this hive, which was really awesome. It's the first time I've spoken to him, like, properly. I've sort of chatted in Discord and stuff, but never in a voice call, and he's a really chill dude. I had a really good time hanging out, and he helped me work on my hive, which was really cool. So thank you, dude. And as you can see, this is currently what we have. So this is basically to utilize all of the new blue stuff which has come into the game. And I kind of think it's also like, just for me personally, to have like all of these really cool new dynamics with, you know, the bubbles and with the balloons and, you know, how that all works together. It would be a shame not to really give it a go and see what I think of it. So yeah, this is what we've got right now. So if you guys want a bit more information on this current hive build, this one, by the way, is like a changing bee, so I change that as and when. But essentially, like, just to kind of give you guys the very basics, we are currently sitting on 10 buoyant bees and 15 tadpole bees. We have one of every blue bee, and essentially all we've done is we've sacrificed everything white, we've sacrificed everything red, and all of their various hive bonuses to focus purely on blue and doing all of the bubble popping and the ballooning. It's really fun. So to be honest, it has somewhat changed my plan. I was just like casually working away here with my white hive, you know, doing the various quests and stuff. Ooh, my candy plant is done. Let's go and grab the loot. Fantastic. And I was just, you know, working on the quest lines and stuff, but I've kind of been focusing more over the past 3 or 4 days or week or whatever on just working on the hive. So you can see that there's many slots that are no longer gifted. So I'm basically going to have to work towards getting as many of those gifted as I can. But there's a slight issue. Because it's a blue hive, I really want to get the Tide Popper. I really want to get it because it's a brand new weapon. It's something different for my character. It's something that I've never really used like properly. I used it a bit in the test realm, but not much. The only issue is blue extracts. Oh my goodness. So fortunately, I was actually kind of lucky because I already had like 700-800 blue extracts and I had like 50,000 blueberries, which means that technically, am I going to do this? Am I going to be the most impatient person in the world? Speed up for 439 tickets. Yeah. Goodbye tickets. So I've been really impatient there. But now we actually have the 1,500, which is good. However, we also just need to power out a little bit of swirled wax, and we can purchase ourselves the Tide Popper. And I'm thinking, you know what? Should we just grab it in this episode? I don't know. Let's see if I can actually make the wax. So, like, I want to try and go blue. It's really cool. It's something new for me. It's something that I've not really done that much. I've never really been a blue hive at all. But I just love the new dynamics of the buoyant bees and the tadpole bees and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to use this for a little while before Onyx decides to like maybe nerf things down or change things or rebalance things. But I'm kind of thinking as of like right this moment, things seem to be pretty well balanced. So hopefully that's not going to happen. Right, how many do I need? I need 75 in total. I currently have 1 single turpentine, 44 swirled wax I've got. So can I make the rest? I made a lot of purple potions, so hopefully... Oh no, I think I'm going to be slightly short. So the problem is, right, soft wax is easy to get with the puff shrooms. We're going to talk about puff shrooms in just a second, by the way, but I don't want to use my honeysuckles because I'm trying to use them for a quest, and I don't want to use them in the blender. So, that's a bit of a nuisance, you could say. How many am I short? I'm actually not too sure. I think I'm like, what was it, 75 I need? So I've only got 61, so nearly there. Right, so next episode, I'm going to save up enough stuff and we're going to go and buy the Tide Popper. And to be honest, like, they're really expensive. So obviously they're like the end game collectors, which totally makes sense. But I was saving up for the gummy baller, wasn't I? So I actually had enough honey for that, but I was going to make some of the rest of the stuff. However, these ones are actually really expensive, but in their own way. So they're a lot less honey, but they're a lot more resources. Well, it feels like it. Wow, okay. I need to do more puffies. Ooh, and whilst I'm here, I've got a gift box number 11. Just for some reason, I haven't opened it yet, so we might as well open that. Oh, I got some wax. I got some wax. Not the waxes I need, but I got some wax. Man, I've actually run out of soft wax. Can you believe? So, yeah, this is kind of where I'm up to right now. Essentially, like, I'm on this Beesmas bouquet quest, which I think is like the second last one or something like that. I don't think it's the last bee bear one, but I essentially just need to use honeysuckles. So what I've been doing is I've been getting the majority of my honeysuckles from the samovar, which is really good, obviously, because every time you use the samovar, it levels up like 1 level, which means you get more honeysuckles. And they're also in the memory match, but the Christmas memory match, you can actually get stacks of 15 in them, which is really good. But I kind of haven't really got too many of them. So I'm still working on that quest. The gummy bear goo, right? This is the issue. So the rare puff shrooms at the mountaintop, not too much of a big deal. I haven't really been focusing on that one, but 5 legendary puff shrooms, and I've done the level 17 one, but the 5 legendary puff shrooms from the map, that's tough. So here's the thing, right? Previously, I kind of mentioned that there was this kind of like system whereby if you drove puff shrooms up into the 15B area, you could essentially like spawn trap them between these 3 fields using 3 players. So each person picks a field and they just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they level up like loads and loads and loads. And it's a really good way to farm puff shrooms and hopefully also to get those legendaries. However, I've never actually seen a legendary on a server I've been just yet. So I still need 5 of them. Now, I was actually playing last night with Elo once again and one of his friends called Jerry, and they came to try and help me with puff shrooms. We did 4 of them in a row, and even with those guys, I'm talking like number 1 hive in the game, and I think the other guy had like a level 18 hive, so really good player. We got 1 epic in 4 goes. No legendaries, no nothing. This sort of field trap here no longer works. It's been patched, and my goodness, it was so difficult to even get an epic, let alone a legendary. Like, we had, I think, level 18, 19 mushrooms popping up, which are really, really high level, but no legendaries. It was tough. So here's the thing, right? Like, sort of before that little sort of field sort of area was usable, I would imagine that there were lots of people who kind of were able to get maybe these quests done, which is great. But now that it's actually gone, and you have to basically chase the puff shrooms around by themselves, it is a lot trickier, I found. And it's really, really just heavily RNG and random. And whatever you get, you kind of get along the way. So to be honest with you, I was kind of thinking about this and I was like, well, there's no way, in my opinion anyway, from just playing a little bit, that this is going to be attainable for a lot of players. And even like, you know, as I said, we had a really, really good server last night and we still couldn't do it. We couldn't get a single legendary. I'm sure if we did like enough of them, then maybe we might get one. But with the quest being like 5, that is a really, really tricky one, especially for like Gummy Bear, when all of the other stuff is relatively easy to do. So basically, like, I think a lot of people have had this problem, but I did read on it said this, kind of let you guys know. When the event gets closer to ending, I'll take a look at the quests and, if necessary, lower the puff shroom requirements. Maybe a week or so before the event ends, but adjust the rewards down a bit so that there is an incentive to complete the harder quests before then. You're still only a few weeks in with 50 days to go. I realize the quests are a bit too hard, but it hasn't stopped many players from completing them. There is a strategy to puff streams that lets you manipulate RNG, even if RNG is still an essential factor. I don't think it works anymore, unless someone knows a new one. As time goes by and more people have better planters and are more familiar with how to level puff shrooms up, as best, it should get easier. But at the end, I will still consider it, adjusting it down so those who have had bad luck can complete it towards the end of the event. So this reminds me exactly of last year when people were struggling with the level 20 snow bear, because the level 21 was part of a quest line, and unless you had like a group of really decent players, it was a little bit tricky to take it down. I would say that it wasn't possible like solo. I think mine's on level 19 right now. I don't think I'd be able to do it solo, especially now with this blue hive. Nowhere near. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. He also said this as well. I found this really interesting. Hang on, let me find it. Ah, yeah, okay, I got this. So this is actually like how the mechanics of puff shrooms work. So this was written on the 6th, so this was like, what, last week or whatever? But it says, here is some extra info as to how puff shrooms level up, because I haven't explained this in the info for the game yet. Essentially, a puff shroom is more likely to gain more levels if it is visiting a field that hasn't been visited by one of its ancestors within the last 8 generations. If it's hopping to a field that hasn't been visited in 8 generations, it can gain up to 4 levels, but usually around 1 or 2. This gradually goes down until it becomes less likely to lose a level if it visits the same field as its parent. Additionally, the first time a field is visited within a puff shroom session, that is the first time a descendant puff shroom spawns on a field within a family originating from a puff shroom spawned by a planter or naturally at 45 or 50. What? Let me try this one again. Additionally, the first time a field is visited within a puff shroom session, that is the first time a descendant puff shroom spawns on a field within a family organization from a puff shroom spawned by a planter or naturally at 15 or 45 minutes past the hour. It is very likely to gain either 2 to 3 levels. Means that this is beneficial to chase the puff shrooms through as many different fields as possible. Juggling the puff shrooms between the same few fields will lead to a gradual gain in level, but may eventually stagnate, since after 8 generations in the same few fields, it will be very unlikely to gain few levels. So there's lots of things with families and tribes, and apparently the puff shrooms are sentient beings now, and they talk to each other, and they have families, and they have grandpas and sons and daughters. And who knew puff shrooms are so deep, man? Unbelievable. That's amazing. But yeah, essentially what he's saying is like, if you just go between the same 2 fields, you will occasionally like level your puff shrooms up, but it will get to a point where it will stop. So there's way more benefit in just like chasing between all the different fields. But the thing is, like, you can't control where those puff shrooms go. They can be completely random, and they can also just split off into different directions. So it's kind of up to you to pick which path you think is going to be best. But the issue for that, of course, is that, you know, with characters that are red hives now, and blue hives, and white hives, and mixed hives, depending on which field it goes to, you can either harvest that quicker or it's going to take longer. So it still feels like very, very much RNG as to, you know, what you get, what level you get, and, you know, what rarity you also get there as well. But yeah, as of right now, like, how many of you guys, have you guys done your 5 legendary quests? Have you guys done your level 17? Because I think personally they're actually pretty tricky, especially that legendary one. And I played quite a bit. I might not have played as much as like some of you guys, but I have played a really good amount over Christmas, and I haven't seen a single legendary spawn yet, which is kind of mad, isn't it? Actually, I've got a ticket planter here ready. I'm just going to do a solo run just to see what happens. I don't think I'm going to get a legendary, but I'll try. Let's see if we can even just get an epic solo. Let's give it a go, huh? Now, of course, there is like one little combat for that, which is essentially starting your puff shrooms off at like a higher level. And of course, like the better the planter you've got, the higher level I think those will spawn in at. So, you know, I use the ticket planter right now, which, you know, they give you a bunch of them free from the quest lines, but they do start with a relatively low level puff shroom. Whereas if you use like one of the better planters and you actually get a puff shroom, it's going to start at a higher level. But of course, your chances of getting that per planter are different depending on which type it actually is. So you have to kind of like also really utilize your planters to the best effect you can. So yeah, I've been using mainly the cheaper ones right now just to kind of get the quest lines done, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to invest in some of the better ones just to kind of help me out with these quests. So maybe get the pesticide one or something. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let me carry on. I think I'm up to like level 10, but I've only had like 2 rares. And yeah, it would appear that I'm not going to get very much good stuff this time. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I'm going to be now farming my puff shrooms, not even necessarily to get any legendaries for the quest. I think I'm just going to leave that for a while, but I obviously need the soft waxes because I want to get the Tide Popper, like, next episode, hopefully. So I think what I'm probably going to be doing instead is just using those free ones every quarter past and quarter to on the hour, farming those up, trying to get as many soft waxes and hard waxes as possible, because I would like that Tide Popper at some point. But yeah, in terms of a puff shroom run, I think solo puff shrooms as well is just not as good. I think definitely like doing them on a server with people is a lot more beneficial for everyone, I think. But yeah, I just thought we'd give it a go. I think I got a few soft waxes, but apart from that, not so hot, not so hot. That's kind of where I'm up to right now, really. I've done all the other quests, bar just a couple of bee bears. I've got the gummy bear one, and I've got the honey wreath. That's pretty much like over halfway done now, so I kind of leave this one just to chill in the background, basically, and as I'm playing and doing field bits and pieces, it sort of fills up. The only issue is the honeysuckles. That's probably going to be the one that takes me the longest, but I just need to remember to hit my samovar, because I always keep forgetting to do it, but yeah, if I can work on that, that's good. Currently, though, I still have, so in terms of like the blue hive, by the way, it's all well and good like changing your bees, but you've got to remember as well as changing the bees, you have to then change all your amulets, and you have to change your amulets. So I'm currently only running a solo Supreme Star, which is Pop Star, obviously. So I still need to spend more honey to try and get that sort of really good double passive. I also need to do a load of stick bug runs to try and get some blue boosts on my stick bug. I need to also maybe do some stump snails to try and get a better Supreme. I need to also go and do some ant challenges. So I've got to work on all of the amulets as well as working on the bees. But to be honest, it's kind of fun. It gives me some more stuff to do. And I'm really liking the blue hive, not going to lie. So yeah, that's currently where I'm up to. Just sort of plopping along. As I kind of mentioned to begin with, like, I'm not necessarily going to try and rush anything. I just want to kind of enjoy the update and just play, you know, like, kind of and have fun with it, really. So we're only like, you know, 2 weeks in, 2.5, 3 weeks in. So we have 46 days left here of Beesmas. So my best guess, and this is just a guess, is that for Beesmas Part 2, it might come out with like maybe 3 weeks left, I'm guessing. So when that counter gets maybe to like 30, maybe we can actually expect Beesmas Part 2. I don't know, it's just a guess, just speculation. There's no information out right now, but of course, as soon as I see anything, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, hopefully you guys are still trucking away with your quests. Hopefully they're going well. Best of luck with them. There are some tricky ones in here, to be fair. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are too. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, thanks, and see ya.